This was the scene in Los Angeles earlier today outside of the studios where Jimmy Kimmel's show was taped up until, of course, yesterday. The Walt Disney-owned company, ABC, saying it was canceling the show after one affiliate said it would replace it. The head of the Federal Communications Commission, which oversees television in the U.S., is a presidential appointee, Brendan Carr, his name, and he has directly intervened in this, urging broadcasters to stop airing the show. That, of course, is leading to criticism that the American government is trying to muzzle free speech, and that this is a huge, huge threat to American television and the right for people to say what they want. Jimmy Kimmel, of course, a huge name in late night. He's been on the air for 20 years. Let's bring in Mark Breslin. He's the CEO and founder of the YukYuk's Comedy Club. Mark, hey, good to see you. Appreciate your time today. We're trying to get a lot of reaction to this from different people here. You're in Toronto today, but you're following, of course, what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel. What do you make of it?
Well, let me be blunt. There is absolutely no reason to ever censor a performer whatsoever. That should never happen unless they are advocating violence or hate speech. This is not what Jimmy Kimmel did.
And what does it mean, do you think, for late night comedy in the U.S.?
Well, I think what's going to happen for Jimmy Kimmel, and I think what's going to happen for anybody who's canceled for these kinds of reasons, is they're all going to gravitate over to streaming services because the FCC has no jurisdiction over them. Look at Howard Stern when he was fired from terrestrial radio. All he did was he went over to Sirius XM and became one of the wealthiest people in show business. So I'm not worried about Jimmy, and I'm not worried about the guy from CBS, and I'm not worried about any of these people because they're going to do fine. What's really worrisome is that we fire people for the smallest things now.
We're going to play, if we can, what Jimmy Kimmel actually said. And, you know, some people are going to hear this and they're going to think, well, I don't understand what the big deal is. Some others might be offended by it. He didn't directly target, you know, what things that Charlie Kirk had said, but he talked about the MAGA movement, Make America Great Again, and that they were trying to exploit Charlie Kirk's murder. Listen to this.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing.
All right, so Mark, did he cross the line with what he said?
No, not at all. I mean, he didn't go after Charlie Kirk whatsoever. He might have made a mistake in saying that Kirk was involved with the MAGA movement, and if that's the case, then he should have an apology on air and say that he was wrong about that idea. But the fact is, it's opinion more than anything else, and comics, broadcasters, should have the right to their opinion. I think that's the First Amendment that America is so darn proud of.
Right. I mean, you could argue that the timing may have been too soon. On the other hand, you know, these comedians, and it's not just Jimmy Kimmel. We look at people like Stephen Colbert, people like Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon. I mean, one of the reasons why people tune into their shows is because they can say things that are controversial. They can target presidents and prime ministers and politicians alike. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why people like them, correct?
Yes, well, you know, that's one of the reasons people tune into these shows, and it's been going on for a long time. If you go back as far as Johnny Carson, who is kind of an anodyne performer, he's not a heavily political guy, but he always did jokes about the president, whoever it was. And, you know, you got to take a punch. And I don't understand why Donald Trump, who comes across as such a tough guy, can't simply take the punch.
What's the backlash here, do you think, for ABC and for Disney? Because I know there's already, you know, a huge firestorm of criticism over what they have done, that they are seen as, you know, for some anyway, bending the knee to the Trump administration, freezing free speech here. Do you think that they keep Kimmel off the air permanently? Do you think they walk it back? What's your read?
Don't know. There's a soupçon of truth in what Donald Trump said about his ratings. The ratings for all of these shows have gone down over the years because networks are hemorrhaging money. And the difference between this kind of a show and, say, a sitcom is that a sitcom you can play it again and again and again. We'll be watching Seinfeld in the year 2300. But this kind of show, you play it once and then it's gone. So if the ratings aren't great, then there's kind of an issue of, well, why are we fighting for this in the first place?
Mark Breslin joining me, the CEO and founder of the well-known YukYuk's Comedy Club. Great stuff, Mark, as always. Thanks for taking time for CTV News today.
Always happy to do it.